Hi, I'm Anthony,
And I'm Andrew.
and we're from Aerion Technologies, and we took part in the NASA International Space Labs Challenge at VSEC in Melbourne, Australia. We took on one of the data visualization challenges, the MyTravel Impact Challenge.
As a part of the challenge, we built a web system prototype, and in that prototype we basically collected user travel data, and from that data we created different types of charts and visualization for the user to get an indication of what sort of impact they were having with their travel. Some of those charts and representations were how much carbon was emitted during a travel instance, so for example travelling to and from work, as well as how much travel was taken over a certain period of time, as well as carbon that was emitted as well. We also displayed the user's impact against suburbs or against people in their suburbs, so you'd have suburb by suburb a carbon impact based on travel to and from work, etc. So it was all about visualising specific data. And then we took it into weather as well, so we pretty much represented what weather how weather had an impact on your travel and how much carbon was emitted. If it rained, for example, maybe more carbon because you're on the road for a bit longer.
The innovative and interesting part of the actual idea we came up with was the mixing up of that actual data, using weather data and travel data in a weird way to actually provide recommendations or planning infrastructure based on that data. Using the data, we can actually calculate based on specific weather patterns in the forecast for the next week, what sort of transport you should be taking, how much traffic is normally on the road, how long and efficient that trip normally becomes. This is actually a really interesting part of the project and providing this sort of feedback back to the user. We can either capture the data passively or actively, passively using a GPS on their mobile phone or other sort of device, or actively where they're actually entering the data when they feel up to it.
So the main purpose of the whole application in a nutshell is really to make people aware of what they're using. So it really gives them an indication of carbon and what impact they're having by travelling on a day-to-day basis. So that's really the guts and the most important thing about this project. It's giving people a good indication of what they've used on a daily basis, comparing it against other users, so to see, well, why am I using so much carbon, or why am I using so little? And then you can take it to the extent of community-based sort of gamify the process. So a community can compete against a community, and you could even take that to a corporate level where a corporate identity could compete against another corporate identity in terms of their employees and their travelling to and from work. In terms of this slight innovation as well, there's a lot of data that we collected out of this process, and that could be used in terms of infrastructure planning as well as travel management and everything along those lines.
That's a brief overview of what we came up with and the innovative ideas that we've come through with that data. Thank you for the opportunity.